It said to press reset. It's still saying the same thing, as if that's not what I did the first time. We were on number like this one. No, we did this one. Yeah, we were on this passage.
Okay. Oops. Okay. Let's see. A sharp drop. The creativity of aging rock songwriters has been noted in particular cases, including these guys. There have been explanations, but the explanations are only specific to the individual artists. Then they talk about that. The first half of the 20th century, they developed a popular tradition. Okay. Okay, then they talk about so maybe highlight whatever golden era songwriters wrote songs to fit the needs of musical comedies.
I can't highlight since we're reviewing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and then let's handful of new artists transformed popular music. Neither simple nor clear. Okay. So they're talking about how originally songwriters just wrote things that were very clear and could be used as like music for in musicals.
In what now? Oh, you're good.
To fit the needs of musical comedies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 60s, mid 60s, there's a new type of popular music that, was couldn't be precisely interpreted. Example being the Strawberry Fields by the Beatles, and so these are new, creations of this new art that has little regard for traditional rules and constraints, and their inexperience basically served to help them be liberated from those constraints and conventions from previous types of artists.
Yeah.
Okay, they performed their own songs, whereas the golden era ones were sung by professional actors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then they're saying for the traditional artist, aka the ones from the golden era, aka the ones who didn't perform their own music, their work seems to improve with age, whereas the conceptual artist, aka the new type of artist, aka the one who performed their own music, their stuff got worse. Yeah, that's what I get from that. Alright, what type of artists are the golden era ones? They're not inexperienced. They artists for hire, would be artists, former artists. Let me see where they talk about golden era again. Golden era. Okay, wrote songs to fit the needs of their songs. Okay, they were written and sung by professional actors. And then before that they said they were okay. Writing about the American people and does it say anything else above that? No, they're just saying about the new ones there. Okay, so alright, the golden era ones basically
intended to advance the plots of those portions.
Let me try the question again then. So, alright, A is definitely out.
And C.
Would be artists, former artists.
Because they were already artists.
Okay, so C would be out. I guess since they are since they're not performing their own works and since their songs aren't written for their own needs or their own expression, they're only written for like comedies, like musical comedies.
Yeah.
And for like basically for a show or something, right? So artist for hire would be the closest one. It's like you hire them and they basically they hired to write specific songs for specific purposes, fit the needs of musical comedies. They didn't write to to express themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, they did describe them as successful working artists.
Yeah. So that's why I guess it wouldn't be the former artists one.
Wait.
Because they improved as they aged. Okay, which of the following, if true, would most challenge the passage author's views as presented? Okay, most of the songs featured in the Great American Songbook are about democracy. Most of the songs featured in the Great American Songbook, that's something that a Golden Era one wrote, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Were popularized not by the songwriters but by other singers. I mean, we're looking for things that would challenge it. Okay. I mean, that's true because they didn't. Other singers sang it, but I'm not really sure about if that is going to be why it's popular. Let's see. Most of the songwriters in the Great American Songbook had more than one song in the book. Most of the songwriters were under the age of 30. So, like, it seems like the Golden Age ones were experienced.
Yeah.
And the the newer ones were like young and inexperienced. I would lean on that, but before answering, I would look in the passage for where they mention the Great American Songbook. Okay, Great American Songbook. All right, cool. Let's see. Not writing about themselves, writing about us. Democratic. Okay, so that means that A is a true statement, right? And okay, so yeah. So they're asking for which one is not true, right? Or which one would challenge it. And So they should be about democracy, I'm gonna guess, because they're democratic populists. They
Yeah.
didn't sing it themselves. And I don't know if they had more than one song. Is it D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because C, I don't think, yeah, they didn't say anything about C. Yep.
Oh, because they're saying if true would challenge the author's views. If it was true that they had more than one song, it would, yeah, it wouldn't really change anything.
Yeah. And D, it would, because they said they were experienced and improved with age.
Yep.
They're,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay, this is the next passage. Do you want to start with the questions?
Sure. Let's see. The artificial language Esperanto was constructed from European languages and uses Western European alphabets. Based on the passage, the language would most likely be classified as. Wait. Okay. Let's. So I know phonetic is how it sounds. But let me see what they say. Okay.
So, ideographic is where
Yeah,
was it?
phonemes based on sounds, morphemes, signs indicating syllables or categories. Um, Ideographic, in metaphysical thoughts directly in script without letters, words, or sentences.
Yeah,
That
so I
is
knew it wouldn't be
that would
A
be
or
what?
D.
Example of that was, I guess hieroglyphs.
Hmm?
Okay. Ideographic without letters, words, or sentences. Okay, so that means that each thing represents an idea. Okay, so if they're saying Western, what do they say? Western. Okay, then let's see. Oh wait. So they thought that Egyptian and Chinese was ideographic, but then they figured out it was phonetic and morphemic.
Mhm.
Mayan was phonetic and morphemic, and so okay. Now I have to just see where it talks about. Um, they said Western languages or something, right?
Yeah.
All right. What's
For which one?
oh for the in the question they said they were asking it's a combination of like Western, like let me see that the question.
Oh,
Yeah, they said all right, European languages and Western European alphabets. Okay, let's see. Letters representing sounds are alphabets, and they said that they use Western European alphabets. So phonetic could be there, and then let's see. Represent sounds. European languages. Civilized phonetically. So I'm thinking like either phonetic or combination of ideographic and phonetic.
yeah. I put morphemic
That was
because
like based on
I saw
syllables and stuff.
they said alphabets.
Oh yeah, the alphabet part makes me know it's phonetic from the last paragraph where it says
Oh, writing
representing
phonetically.
sounds alphabets.
Huh?
Oh, so I know that it's at least phonetic. In the last paragraph, they say, um, right after what you highlighted about ideographs, like, oh yeah, where you highlighted alphabets,
Yeah.
they say that they're letters representing sound,
Yeah.
and things that are based on sound are phonemes, like phonetic.
Oh, okay.
So and I just have to now just rule out. I mean, of course, if you had no time, pick B. I'll start giving you like no time answer and time answer, because
Okay.
like no time phonetic, because I've proven that it's phonetic. Now, if I had time, I just want to see if it's also ideographic.
And
But
yeah, I
I
don't
don't think
think it's
so.
ideographic
Yeah.
because it
Oh,
said
I
right
got it.
here.
I got it. So they're
Oh,
saying civilized people wrote phonetically, and then
yeah.
above that, Anglo um, Americans and English, aka European, were civilized.
Yep.
And then civilized people wrote phonetically. Therefore, if they're using European languages,
Where's this? Where's the American people part?
oh, just um, you highlighted it in the second to last paragraph. Anglo
Oh,
Americans and English were civilized.
yeah.
Yeah, it's phonetic.
Yep. It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Morpheme signs indicating
Syllables and
syllables or
categories. Yeah.
categories. But why wouldn't it be that?
Because it so like our language, like English, we're talking like to learn that, right?
Hmm.
You need to learn the letters, like a sound the letter makes.
Yeah.
That's why when you like in when you're a little baby or whatever, it's like sounded out.
Yeah.
Um, so our language is phonetic. It's based on sounds. Um, oh, you said, well, wouldn't it be morphemic?
Hmm.
Um, I guess that's so. What is that? That's based on like syllables. I can't even think of an example of that.
I
What
get
was
what you're
the
saying though.
example that they gave you, or what do they say about morphemes up there?
They just said the broad categorization for such languages is defined as phonetic.
Um, yeah, like if you scroll up, I just want to see what they say about morphemes. Morphemes. Okay, so things. All right, syllables or categories. All right, so they didn't mention signs that indicate syllables or categories. Where so like for instance like the alphabet. I think an example would be like maybe like an accent or something, like in French or something that
Hmm.
makes you. Yeah, I'm trying to think indicating syllables or categories. I can't think of anything about
Okay.
an example of morpheme. I'm gonna like see if I can look for an example, but yeah, I know for a fact that it's phonetic, and that's how.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's see. To support the contention, you know what contention means, right?
Support like what was said.
Well, no, the just the word contention.
No.
Oh, it means that he disagrees with it.
Oh, okay.
So, the contention is that he thinks that Renaissance scholars misunderstood Egyptian writing,
Hmm.
and I remember they wrote that there because they said that they first thought it was, I think, like morphemic. Yeah. So basically, yeah, Renaissance dude says that it was ideographic, right?
Hmm.
And then he says eventually they were recognized as both phonetic and morphemic. Um,
Where?
in the next
Oh, right here.
paragraph, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what does he use all right, to support that? He said that um okay, we need to see all right, what how it was found. So, yeah, go back up to that because it says that eventually they were recognized as phonetic and morphemic, but how? How did they figure that out? So, let's see. Oh, wait, it's in the same paragraph. Oh, because the Renaissance dude just translated one inscription which spelled out the titles of a pharaoh as instructions on securing a divine
Oh,
protection from the god
got
Osiris
you.
himself. So I think he messed up like
The
a
meaning of it.
translation.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the choices, um, yeah, B.
Yeah. That one was pretty simple, but what did I choose? C. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
I think I know what you're doing because it says both Egyptian and Chinese
Hmm.
was shown to be phonetic and morphemic. That's what I
Hmm.
was looking at first, and then it talks about Mayans.
Yeah,
So, so
not
I think you chose the
Renaissance.
choice that we're talking about, and it does say above that missionaries were the ones who figured out Chinese and Mayan were well they were whatever wrong, but I think yeah you saw Mayan and then connected it to missionaries, so I can see.
Yeah, since I was trying to hurry up.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right, which of the following assertions, if true, would most support the author's statement that Egyptian culture dwindled under the classical world's onslaught? Paragraph 4. What? All right, let me see this. One, two, three,
Right here.
four. In the 5th century. Wait. Okay. The Greek scholar Herodotus, visited Egypt, studied its writing. He reported correctly the script memorialized historical events, especially royal achievements. As Egyptian culture dwindled under the classical world's onslaught, information transmitted by the Greeks about Egyptian writing became increasingly garbled. The script was allegedly ideographic, expressing metaphysical thoughts directly in script without letters, words, or sentences. So, okay, now they're saying what they mean by the onslaught. So, okay, how can we support that? Um,
I don't even know what this is asking or what that passage meant.
okay, so they're saying that during the 5th century, Egyptian
Hmm.
culture like dwindled, like Egypt, ancient Egypt, right?
Hmm.
Was like started to go down. Like it was no longer at a peak
Yeah,
around the same time in the classical world. Remember we talked about this. What is that referring to?
the classical
Yeah,
world.
yeah. Remember
That was-
studying the classics?
Yeah, that was like Romans and Greeks and stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yep. So basically, what they mean is that Egyptian, like Egypt, like kind of like went down as like the Greeks and Romans or whatever went, like their culture went up,
Gotcha.
and and it dwindled under the classical world's onslaught because they would like go and whatever visit them and stuff. It's not like they
Hmm.
whatever were Vikings to them, but so oh wait, you know what? It could be, but wait. Okay, so okay, so um so it could be C with the invaders. It could be A because they used their discoveries to further their own studies, but why would that cause them to dwindle? Um, B won't be it because that seems like a good thing for Egypt, and D, uh, is talking about something that happened in the Renaissance. So
Mhm.
if it's
And I don't think it
onslaught,
will be.
it
I don't think it will be A because
yeah,
they
because
wouldn't use something from Egypt if their culture dwindled.
well, like I mean like they're saying dwindled under the classical world's onslaught, and like the discoveries by Egyptian astronomers happened like when Egypt was at its peak, and the Greeks used that to further their own studies, but that doesn't mean that it causes Egypt to go down.
Got
So
you.
I initially was gonna say it's not like the Vikings, but then I was like, you know what? They did invade.
Yeah.
So invaders from Alexander the Great to the Romans tried to integrate Egypt into their empires. That's true. So the word here,
Alexander the
keyword
Great to
here
the
is onslaught, because that is
Okay.
actually like, I mean, think of slaughter.
Hmm.
Onslaught is like basically doing that. So yeah, invaders.
Okay.
Does that make sense? What did you
Yeah.
choose?
Huh?
Oh, you chose D.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like I said, I
Oh
was,
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, just remember what I said about the classics,
Hmm.
because you see how much it comes up. It's come up already.
Yep. I need to remember that
Yeah.
the Greeks and the Romans
Yep.
classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Reasoning beyond the text. Okay.
16 was this? Yeah, this is a different passage.
Mm-hmm. Fictional audience. Okay, let's look at where they talk about that. All right. Okay. So first of all,
Right here.
yeah. So this is an individ. Okay, let's see. Like any other writer must direct. Okay, fictional or reader. Some individual or group he conjures up himself, like one of the characters in his novels or short stories. For except in special cases, the writer's audience is not actually present during the writing process. Um, okay, and then before that, okay, so I guess, so okay, I want to differentiate that from Elizabethan England. Let's see, you and me. Unlike the reader of a personal letter, the fictional reader is inevitably cast in some sort of role, not okay, must play along with it or put down the book. Um, you and me relationship and such a mock relationship between the author and such a mock reader who is close enough. Okay. I mean, I
Mm.
think I understand it, but let me try that question. Okay. So, fictional audience is like when I'm writing something, I'm thinking about um like I'm making up a person that
Mhm.
I am imagining to be the audience of what I'm writing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see. What would be that? All right. I mean, it won't be people like listening to a violinist. Those are real people. That's a real audience right there.
Hmm.
Passers-by is a real audience. Um, People who belong to the target group. That's like a demographic. It isn't, a specific person. So that means that if you are writing for that sitcom, and they actually do this, right? Like
Hmm.
they try to appeal to like a demographic. So they're imagining an 18-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old, right? They're
Hmm.
they're writing to them. The writing is meant to be like conveyed to that type of person specifically.
Yeah, so it will be C, right?
Yeah, and then D says people who vote for by telephone for a contestant in a television talent show. I mean, I don't know about that one. I like that. But it's not going to be it.
Yeah, it's like totally
It just
left.
seems like it's a real person. Yeah. So okay, because yeah, they
Here they're
have
trying to
to.
figure out who the audience, like that's a, okay, yeah, I get it. What did I put? Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
That's yeah. There's always like a target audience, and okay.
I'm getting so many wrong by easy mistakes. If I had
I mean,
time,
it's not that easy. Like none of these are really easy.
not easy, but I'm saying like if I had more time,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been easier.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Why does the passage author assert that 16 or 17? See, this is when I was thinking about the Elizabethan thing, because that's what it starts off with. So I was trying to think, like, in order for me to understand what they mean by a fictional author,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to understand what they meant by not like the other thing, the other example, which is Elizabethan, whatever
Mm-hmm.
era,
Did they
right?
say something about that?
Yeah, it starts off with that.
Okay.
Like it says, Hemingway's works would be laughed in Elizabethan theater. And I don't know if it says that in the passage, but like, oh wait, it says literally 16th century reader there. So
Yeah.
that's probably where it is. Can I see that?
Yeah,
So
it
okay.
is.
Oh, I mean like underneath that. I know the Elizabethan part, but I didn't know they explicitly said 16th century.
Where?
Because then I was gonna say that requires outside information that I happen to know, but they say in the second to last
Right
paragraph.
here.
Mm-hmm. So okay, let's see. The reason why the writer. All right, before that, I'm gonna read. Okay, opening sentence in Farewell to Arms illustrates terms of engagement. Hemingway's prose characteristically imposes on those who read it. The late summer of that year, the novel begins. We lived in a house in a village that looked across the river and the plain to the mountains. What year? What river? Apparently, the reader is supposed to know. Every reader, is being cast in a role of a close companion or confidant. So Hemingway writes as if you, the reader, is a friend or someone who knows.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise he would say like the questions are what year and stuff. All right, now the reason why the writer is tight-lipped here is ostensibly that much of the descriptive detail. Oh wait, here is ostensibly that much of the descriptive detail would bore an insider. Okay, that makes sense. Like it would be if I told you, I'm taking the MCAT, which is a medical college admissions test,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I say that, then like you are an insider, you know what it is.
Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't say that information, that extra information. Okay. Hemingway points to a this or that as though the reader could differentiate the near from the far. Interesting. Fully aware of the physical vantage point of the narrator. Moreover, Hemingway trains the definite article, the, on a particular article or object of our attention. The omission of an indefinite article through the initial introduction of a river. So that I don't know if this is that important, but when you say something like when you say the MCAT, it's a
Mm-hmm.
definite article, like in the sense that it's talking about something that like you're specifying it, like the
Yeah.
MCAT. Like you won't say a MCAT, right? But you would
Mm-hmm.
say a test.
Got you.
So he says, the something, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
indefinite is a
Yeah.
like river, right? Okay.
Mhm.
Implies a degree of shared information that would have baffled a 16th century reader. Okay.
So is the author basically saying his like understanding his writing comes with having like being intellectual, like it's not easy to understand?
Uh, so far what I get is just that he's writing to you as if you are like no if you're like know what he's talking about. But I'm trying to see more information. Let me look at the last paragraph. A history of literature could be written in terms of ways in which the audience have successfully been fictionalized from the time when writing broke away from oral performance. Okay. Um, when each genre grows out of what went before it, each new role that readers are made to assume is related to previous roles. Written narrative at first was merely a transcription of oral. Okay. Or, okay. But today, no reader today imagines that a novel or even an email is recited extemporaneously to others before. Okay. So, alright, let me try, I guess, the question. So I know 3 is true. So A and C are out.
Yeah.
And writing style quaint. So that's where I want to see the Elizabethan thing.
What is Elizabethan?
It's just during the
Oh, right
time
here.
when Queen Elizabeth was the queen, and
Mm-hmm.
like Shakespeare, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
wrote stuff. So they're saying, okay, time period before coffee houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If Hemingway's story turned up in Elizabeth, it would have been laughed out of court by the reader, unable to adapt to its demands. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's just gonna be 3.
Because what does quaint mean?
It's like, it's like cute almost, but in a condescending way.
Oh, so it wouldn't be that one.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure because it does say would be laughed out of court, and
But
that
it's
is a
because they can't
condescending thing, like to laugh.
understand it, right?
Yeah. The main reason is because they don't understand it. But I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking it may be quaint. I wanted to make sure because they laughed about it.
Got you. Okay.
All right. The passage would most likely be. All right. The passage would be most appropriate in a collection of articles for.
I changed my answer for this.
Uh huh. This is B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not going to be historians of 16th or 17th century literature, and it's not going to be the history of the English language, and it's not going to be just for fans of Ernest Hemingway, but it's talking about how, like, communication is, you know, like how communication is now, and
Mm-hmm.
how it's not like it's like yeah, it's communication, I guess,
Okay.
communication theory or whatever, because
Okay.
the author is trying to communicate to the reader, and
Mm-hmm.
it's different now about than compared to how it was before. So that's
Got
the
you.
contemporary aspect of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's communication theory.
Okay.
Everything else is yeah is specific, and it's not really talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, which of the following describes a modification in the role of an intended reader that might best serve the purposes of a mass media advertiser? Okay. Personal terms, insider, scholar, problem that a purchasing product would solve. I mean, I have some thoughts. I'm trying to think, but okay, but wait. But where in the paragraph does it say intended reader I would want to see? Intended reader, because there was a paragraph that I didn't really look at. Like, okay.
Mm.
Like, uh, okay. I mean, alright, it seems to be the one that I was leaning on anyway. I can't really find evidence here, but
Yeah.
but I would just yeah. So I would answer it just by thinking, if you're an advertiser, how are like advertisements usually? Like imagine it's like they show the person using like let's say it's like a mop or something, and it's like
Mhm.
let's say it's an advertisement for a Swiffer, right? And they show like oh you're using a mop, and it's like crappy and it gets wet and all over the place, and the person's like sad, and the filter is darker, and then it says so it presents you a problem that you may or
Mhm.
may not have, so you want to buy something that would fix it.
Got you.
Yeah, the other
Yeah,
things,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
nothing in the passage makes me think that. I guess because it's reasoning beyond the text.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes sense. Intended reader. Yeah.
yeah, and it makes sense that an advertiser, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like yeah, if everyone if you didn't have a problem, then you're not gonna buy what they're trying to sell you, right?
If
Okay.
everyone
Yeah.
hadn't say it again.
Oh, if you didn't have a problem,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Oh,
why?
then you wouldn't buy what they're advertising.
Yeah, why? Don't fix what's not broken or whatever that phrase is.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
um, why was the identity of the audience unproblematic for the oral storyteller who rode from town to town reciting tales? All right, this is in, I believe, the last paragraph where they say written narrative. Uh, written narrative at first was merely a transcription of an oral narrative, what was imagined as oral narrative. It was a scribe or transcriber who had to fictionalize. But today, the situation has changed. Okay. All right, so let's see.
Infinity.
The composition of the audience kept changing. I mean, that's true because they had to, ride town to town. Plot of the tale was already familiar. Um, that doesn't really. I mean, I don't. I think know about that. I don't really think so. Members of the audience were literally on the scene. I mean, that's true. Novelty of performance superseded any need for information. Not really. I mean, is it composition of the audience kept changing? Either that or the members of the audience were literally on the scene. Oh, damn it. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
C then. Yeah. Because, yeah, they are. Damn. That makes sense. And, yeah. Okay. It makes sense because, like, when you're writing something that you're not reciting, they have to
Mm-hmm.
read it. And anyone can
Gotcha.
read it. So that audience could be anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're reciting it like, an oral story, the people that you're telling the people right in front of you. So the identity of the audience was not a problem because you saw their identity. They were right in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see why A would have been wrong because that would make it more difficult. right? That would make it
Composition. Yeah.
problematic. Yeah.
What did I put? Um, D.
D, the
I don't know why I
novelty
put that.
of performance.
Why do I always choose the dumbest answers?
It doesn't mean it's the dumbest answer.
Novelty. I don't even know what that means. Novelty of the performance superseded any need for information.
Yeah, no. That you know, would, kind of make sense because novelty means new.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he rode town to town, um, it is like a performance because he's saying it out loud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a new story for the people who hear it at that town. So they're probably going to be like, "Holy crap! Like this is like this guy, coming from nowhere, telling me this story that I've never heard before. I don't care about the information because this
Mm-hmm.
is like so new that it's more important."
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is a new one. Let's see. Does the author explain the statement? Okay, so this one I think we can answer without reading because basically we're going to look for that statement and see if he explains it, right? So the future is perpetually giving birth to new novelty. Hey, novelty right there. If you
Right.
didn't know it before, you'll know it here, right?
Yep.
So, okay, one.
It's,
All right, let's see.
where is it? I think it's in
Yeah, I
this.
see it. So like, all
Yeah.
right. So like, why is history not boring? One reason is because the future is perpetually giving birth to true novelty, aka new things. Um, okay, and then the question was, does he give? How does he does he explain it or something like that? So he says, let's see if he explains it. Was it all right? Let's see. All right. Increase in our scientific understanding and the technological complexity of the world. Let's see. Diversity of species. Okay. I mean, does he? All right. So we can go to the question. Perpetually giving birth. So, all right. So he doesn't talk about the technology thing, but he does talk about the diversity of species, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that is basically the biological evolution, right? Because
Yep.
biological evolution causes diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Do you see that?
Yeah. And I
Oh,
put
you
A
yeah, you
first.
highlighted
And
it
yeah, it's right here.
right there. Biological evolution.
Yep.
It's right
That's why I
after
say
it.
I put that first and then I changed my answer.
Oh damn! Yeah, no, you saw it. You saw it. I didn't even see it there. I saw it
Yep.
later on with diversity of species, but right after it, he says biological evolution.
Yep. Because what did I put? Yeah, I don't know why the hell I put that.
Yeah,
Well, I put that because I thought that was the main point of this passage was this whole because he spent 3 paragraphs talking about it.
yeah, but
But
yeah. So for that question, they're just asking you, does he explain that statement? So yeah, look at that statement and then look after it,
mhm.
and that's where the either you'll explain it or not. But it's good that you highlighted it.
Yeah.
Like so you're able to see it.
Hmm.
Um so, I think it's just working on like I don't know. I guess it's just working on mm, I don't know.
Yeah.
The questions, I
It's fine.
guess.
I
Yeah.
get it.
The third paragraph, which is the following statements, is you going most likely to agree. The third paragraph, let's see it. 1, 2, 3. If the same were true of cultural evolution, the web of connected cultures covering the planet, this might be the reason that history is not boring. To me, to bring things into focus, think about a magnet. Imagine you lived in a
Mhm.
magnetic world and that its temperature was held below the critical point. temperature at which the magnetic power is disrupted. All the magnets would be pointing in the same direction and would rarely, if ever, depart from it. All your friends would be doing the same thing, and life would be one long monotonous nothingness. The history of your world would have fixed laws and unending peace and uniformity stretching back through time. History would be truly boring. Indeed, there would be no history at all, since a record of unbroken sameness is not history, but the lack of it. So he's saying that history is not boring because it's not always the same, and that it's not always the same because of human cultural evolution, which means that all these cultures on the world, are kind of like, influencing each other and changing because of their influences. If there was only one culture, not much would change, really.
Yeah. So let's see.
Okay. What would he agree with? Change is good, but only when it's accompanied by knowledge. Change and variety are required. I'm going to go with that one. Those who do not learn, okay, no. Randomness is a cultural factor.
Change my answer for this too.
Is it B?
Yes.
Okay.
I literally put B, but then I was like, oh, this one seems too extreme.
Oh, well, it is true that it says required, but in that paragraph, he does talk in extremes.
Yeah.
I see where you're going from, right?
Yeah.
I see that. This is like an exception here.
I know, right?
Yeah. Magnetic world apparently wants readers to imagine they are magnets. That's funny. Neutral observers. Oh
this
wait,
one didn't make sense to me.
wait. I didn't see that he talks about magnets in more than the third paragraph. So okay, now suppose that the temperature were to be raised above the critical temperature. Now all the magnets would be flipping back and forth wildly at random, and what any one magnet did at any moment would have no correlation whatsoever with what its neighbors were doing. In this mad world, none of your friends could be counted on for anything. No shred of continuity. Just, it's too random. Okay, then if the temperature were brought close to the critical temperature, got it. Then suddenly any one magnet would be able to have considerable influence on its neighbors, and not so much. Okay. So and not so random. History would seem to be over until another mass movement the other way. A movement with the simple copy, but every change is different. Let's see. But not so much that would fall into line. Groups of all sizes. You would occasionally, okay, all right. Maybe he does mean what I laughed at. Let me look at the question again. Magnets. Is it magnets?
Yep.
That's so funny because when I read it, I laughed at that. But I noticed because I only saw magnets in the third paragraph, and then I was like, oh, this guy keeps talking about it. And he talks about it when it's like whatever below the critical temperature, when it's at the critical temperature. So when it's below the critical temperature, 0 randomness. At critical temperature, 100% randomness. But near critical temperature,
it's balanced.
Yes. And then I really was able to know when they said one magnet would be able to affect its neighbor. So he's talking about people as magnets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird, super weird analogy. Very weird. I've never seen anything that weird. And I like magnets too. All right. Based on the paragraph, best example of mass movements. Okay, so he says that mass movements and things happen occasionally. So I'm thinking of like mass extinction or some migration. So let's see. Let me see again where. So just scroll a tiny bit. So they said, okay, let's see. Where did it say? Okay, oh no, oh wait, it's the last paragraph. You would occasionally notice mass movements indicated by one or few magnets that would unexpectedly sweep across the entire world. Okay. So right away I'm leaning on E. I haven't even seen
no
the rest.
movement would be a simple copy of what had just happened, but every change will be different.
What's up?
And it's detailed.
Okay, wait. Mass movements, basically one or few magnets that would initiated by one or few magnets that would unexpectedly sweep across the entire world. One country's revolution, a disease in one country, pandemic. How contemporary. No movement would be a simple copy of what every change would be different in detail. I don't know. It's either A or B. I'm gonna say A, or is it B?
Yep, it's A. I chose B.
Yeah, I can't even tell between the two. I guess it's because
this one,
a revolution
is
not this like a disease is.
It's gonna be the same.
Yeah.
And a revolution could change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I would be between A and B as well. Yeah. Oh, and then I guess it says mass movements. And like a revolution is a mass movement, but a disease isn't even a person, so it's not even a magnet in this.
A disease isn't a person.
Yeah. And they're talking about yeah. Magnets and
but
stuff.
I got that one wrong too, so.
Which one? Oh yeah.
The disease one.
That was funny. All right, let's see. Butterfield. I noticed that weird name up on the first paragraph. Let's take a look at that.
What did it say? Which other following saying most strong was Butterfield?
Already on the top first paragraph. All right, historians. All right, there's something about the nature of historical events, wrote Butterfield, which twists the course of history in a direction that no man ever intended. There's something in the nature of historical events which twists the course of history in. Okay. So I guess my interpretation of that is that there's something in the course of history that happens that no one intended it to happen, but it happened that way.
Yeah.
Because, like, history is... Okay, so let's see. C?
C, you say it right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. See, they're unexpected and significant events. So, if it completely changes the course of history, it's significant. And if no man intended it, it's unexpected. D says that
the biggest word there was unexpected.
Unexpected. What did you choose?
You don't want to know.
What?
I chose A.
A, cultural transformation is what makes history. So, I mean, that's kind of the main idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're running out of time, it's good to choose the one that's closest to the main idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, Butterfield is saying his own thing over there.
Yeah. Okay. And then this last one we don't have to do. Oh wait, yeah. Never mind.
What?
We can do it. This is the
Um,
last one.
okay. Which of the following arguments for higher wage of the following arguments for higher wages, which one would most likely have been proposed in the late 1920s? Um, well, okay. Let me see where they talk about 1920s. I see. Okay, 1920s recession. Um, okay. Uh,
Understand consumer behavior.
oh, okay. I was looking at 1920s in the middle paragraph. All right, top one. All right. Transition to consumption focused during the 20s and 30s. Shift, okay. Um okay.
Ah,
Differences, okay, but all the studies were limited to specific regions, focused on groups near the bottom, like working class, family, farmers, the poor, and immigrants. Um, Low income families, consumer behavior. Okay, I can try it. Maybe B.
yep, I think so too.
Yeah, because
Yep.
they focused on. They kept saying that they focused on the poor, like the farmers, low income and
Yep.
stuff, and their consumption patterns.
Yeah.
And if they can't buy things, then people like companies aren't going to make money.
You got that from right here, right?
Well, first I looked at where they said the working class, family, farmers, the poor, or immigrants at the
Uh-huh.
bottom of that paragraph that your cursor's on. Yeah,
And I highlighted that too.
and then um, then they in the next paragraph they talk about understanding consumer behavior.
Hmm. And that's why I chose this equality and fairness because I saw this.
So equality and fairness would be like, well, it wouldn't have. So that would be like, if you don't have money,
Hmm.
we'll give you some or something. That's kind of like more like socialist kind of thing. But
Got you.
this is just based on consumer behavior because they really don't care. They just are like, why are we losing money? Oh, it's because people can't afford our stuff, poor people. And it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
hate poor people, but maybe I'll lower the price so I can get them to buy some of my high priced stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Oh, yeah, they talk about it more there. Yeah, purchasing power, right?
yeah.
That's like, yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, things like the minimum wage would be like, whatever, fairness and stuff. Okay.
Okay. So it was that one passage for bio.
So,
Look, I wish
yeah.
I was this strong throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah. No one can do that. Do you want to do like an hour? Like, do you want to do an hour? Or did you want to do more or what?
Because I'm trying to see, we're supposed to meet tomorrow too, right?
We could meet. We could meet tomorrow.
Oh wait, no, we weren't supposed to meet tomorrow. We are supposed to meet Sunday because tomorrow I'm taking another full length.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you just, it's just that one passage
Sure.
that this one.
All right.
You probably
Yeah.
want to read it
Okay.
first
Let's
because it's
see. All right. Ebola virus. No treatment. The particles have a nucleocapsid encased in a membrane that contains a transmembrane viral glycoprotein. Virus has a single-stranded negative sense RNA genome. that is used as a template for the mRNAs produced by a virally encoded RNA dependent. I might need to write things down for this. This is a lot of crap. Okay. The entry of this into the host cytoplasm. Okay. All right. Let me see that question. I want to see if I need to write stuff down. Let's see. Based on the passage, is cat-L expression sufficient for VSF EGP infection of the mouse cell lines presented in Figure 1? Okay. All right. I'm gonna to write some stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, these are my, least favorite.
If it's your least favorite, just think about how I feel about it. I hate
it. Yeah, okay. So here we go. I'll go to all right, I'm just going to add it to the bottom of CP questions even though it's not. So
Okay.
Maybe I'll write BB like AAMC full length 2, I think. Yeah. And then, all right. So you can go to I'm going to actually read the passage and stuff. So here we go. So, okay. Passage 8. So we got Ebola. Okay. All right, you can scroll a bit. I'm going to take a look at that table. Okay. I think I could maybe answer the question. Less than 3% of cells. Scroll down a bit.
Oh. You want me to make it smaller so you can see the graph?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now I know why I got this wrong. I read the y-axis wrong.
Okay. So, um, so by the way, I basically, if you want to see what I wrote in shorthand, should be at the bottom of the CS, the latest thing. Okay. Um, so first, okay. So I drew the Ebola virus, and that thing around it is whatever its capsid, and it has a single-stranded ssRNA that's single-stranded, negative
Yeah.
sense. And then that thing is the transmembrane receptor, and that's called EGP.
Mm-hmm.
And for it to fuse into the host cell, it uses a protease, and that protease is activated by acid.
Okay.
All right, and then they talk about using a different virus called VSV,
Mm-hmm.
and VSV-EGP is that VSV virus with the EGP, transmembrane receptor.
Mm-hmm.
And then they measured by inhibiting these enzymes. So when they inhibit, cat B and cat L, there was like a 99 whatever decrease in the number of the cells or whatever. So the infectivity of this is inversely proportional to the amount of the cat B enzyme as well as the cat L enzyme. But that's just from them saying, that happens when they inhibit them. And then they say that the Ebola virus was a tenfold decrease when they inhibited the cat B virus. So I wrote then Ebola, EBOV is inversely proportional to cat B. And then for figure 1, basically what I saw was that cat B was the only thing that was proportional to infectivity.
Okay.
Now, they're asking, so we can return to the, So in that graph, right? So we have wild type that's at a certain level, right? That's the graph in white, the bar in white. And then we have the first mutant line where they have the ability to produce cat L.
Yeah.
But they don't have the ability to produce cat B. So bacterial just means, it's whatever. Without the addition of, a gene that would make, one of these, enzymes. So that bacterial thing is just with cat L.
Right here.
So we're going from leftmost. So do you see how, this bar and the bar to the right, and the bar to the left? I mean, to the right of that. Yeah, those 3 are for a strain that cannot produce its own cat B, but can produce cat L.
Okay.
So if they don't add anything, right, and it's just cat L, the infectivity is nothing.
Okay.
If they add cat B, the infectivity is huge. If they add cat L, which it already can make, infectivity doesn't do anything. So that's why I wrote cat B is proportional to infectivity.
Does only cat B increased when?
Yeah, the number of cells infected increased when you add cat B.
Okay.
And now the thing to the right of that is in, for whatever, the ones that cannot produce cat B and they cannot produce cat L.
Yeah.
So basically, for them, infectivity is nothing, right? If they give them cat B, it rises a bit. If they give them cat L, it's nothing. And then if they give them cat B and cat L, it rises a bit, but overall it's still lower than the control, right? The white bar.
Yeah.
So they're asking, is cat L expression sufficient? When they say sufficient, they mean that if it was just cat L, right? Is that
Mm-hmm.
enough for the infection? Um, Sufficient for the infection, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then it says if it's less or equal to or less than 3%, it's too low to be measured accurately. And all these, like the really small bars, look like they're tiny.
Yeah.
So I start off by saying no, because it's not sufficient, right?
Yeah, because you have cat L there, but when you introduce cat L that it already has, it doesn't rise.
Yeah, in all these cases, the
Mm-hmm.
only way that infectivity rises is through the addition of cat B. So
Yep.
it's going to be no, so I'm going to cross out A and B, and then now it's the because part. So we have no because, VSV EGP does not infect cat B minus cells expressing cat L better than it infects cat minus cells not expressing cat L. So that means we're comparing, you know, that first genotype, yeah. So that's, the ones that express cat L but
Mm-hmm.
not cat B.
Yeah.
So it doesn't infect that better than it infects um, the cat B minus cells that are not expressing cat L, which are these guys. So yeah, it infect, yeah, it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't really,
Yeah, because they are both lower than 3%, right?
yeah. And then let's see, the next one says no because it infects cells expressing both cat B and cat L, which is that last
Uh-huh.
bar, better than it infects cells expressing cat B but not cat L. So that's comparing that last bar to
Mm-hmm.
cat B but not cat L to that bar right there.
Yep. And that's true.
And they're saying no because both cat B and cat L. Uh, so I mean, okay, so that strengthens the argument that cat L um does cause, does like make the infection like or whatever more so than if it was just, cat B or whatever. Um
But does it? Well, yeah.
but it's still, both of these are still lower than the wild type.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's higher than the wild type is when cat B is added. So basically, is cat L expression sufficient? It's not, and the reason that it's not is because um, the ones that don't have cat B, sorry, wait, oh, the ones that don't have cat B but do have cat L, um, is not like it are not infected as much as it is with the ones that don't have cat B, um, that have cat L. So we're comparing basically both, like we're just comparing values that are all like essentially, I guess, smaller than whatever 3% or basically just nothing. But basically the answer is no. The answer is no, and the reason that D is wrong is because D is saying that um, that cat L does more than it does, because it's saying that cat B and cat L is better than just cat B, whereas the second part of C is saying that the ones expressing cat L is not better than the ones that are not expressing cat L. And that's true.
Yeah. Okay. Because here you have the highest bar.
Yeah. So first thing is to be able to see that it's no. That's why I wrote only cat B is proportional to infection whatever-ality or whatever.
So,
Infectivity.
So with that, because I was kind of confused looking at the graph.
Yeah.
Since it has, I knew, okay, you can determine that cat L, the whole, okay, because cat B isn't expressed in either.
Mm-hmm.
And then cat L is expressed here, not expressed here. So when you add cat B, but cat B isn't expressed, the cells still get infected. But when you add cat L and cat L is already there, nothing happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that means that cat L doesn't really.
So you see how, yeah. So you see how basically when cat L is present and cat B is present, it's going to be higher for both sides. Those are like, you know, that bar and then like the biggest bar. So, you know, the question is, what is causing it? Because we have both cat B and cat L, and we have, you know, high, you know, infectivities. So which is it? Is it, which one, you know, is the culprit or whatever? Cat B or cat L? And you can tell because of, yeah, you can tell because of, you know, the part where they don't add the cat B and it's just cat L and it's like nothing. Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, left, like the in the ones that have cat L but don't have cat B.
Yeah, it's these three.
Yeah. So the one that, so if you just look at bacterial, because that anything for the bacterial, just treat that as like control, right? So that means that they're yeah. So that means that like they're not adding any cat B, they're not adding any cat L. It can produce its own cat L. So if you don't add anything and it's producing its own cat L, its infectivity is like nothing. Whereas,
why is it not producing its own cat B?
Yeah, because that's why it's cat B minus, like above.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then when you introduce cat B, it skyrockets.
Okay. I guess it confused me because they had it up here and down here.
Yeah, so like up there is the genotype, right? And then down there is what genes they introduce. So making up, so like, you know, if they introduce cat B and it doesn't produce its own cat B, they introduce it, so they give it to it. Yeah. And then, you know, for the genotype on the right, it's not producing anything, neither cat B nor cat L. But look, see how cat B, if they introduce cat B alone, it's like kind of high, right?
Yeah.
So show me like where that is. Like, yeah, right? So left of that, bacterial, is when it's not making cat B or cat L. Then they add cat B, it goes up, right?
Yeah.
And then if they add cat L, it's like,
it goes back down.
Yeah. And then cat B plus cat L, it goes up. But basically, if you're adding both things and you want to see which is the thing that
is the problem, you have to separate them. So cat B is the one that causes infectivity.
Okay, so with these type of questions, is it better to look at the one that doesn't have either?
What do you mean by
Because
that?
like I can get more information from the genotype that doesn't have cat B or cat L, and then something comes and gets introduced.
I found most of it. I think like left to right is good, but I think
Okay.
the one on the left gives you more information because the one on the right
Okay.
there's still ambiguity because cat B plus cat L, right, is higher than cat B alone or cat L alone.
Okay.
So if it's higher than those two things alone, then it seems like cat L is playing a role in infectivity, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the one on the left is just saying without cat B and just cat L, and then cat B and cat L, and it's super high. Yeah. So cat L expression is not sufficient.
So I put A, so the yes part is wrong, but this part is right, right? It infects cells expressing cat L better than it infects cells not expressing cat L.
I mean, I don't know about that because that means you'd have to compare the bacterial parts, and those are pretty much, tiny.
Okay. Oh, they come. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Does optimal VSV EGP infection in vitro
We already talked
require
about this.
that or both?
Yeah.
It should be both.
Really? Why?
Well, wait.
Optimal?
Wait, sorry, I'm comparing. Alright, wild type has both, so it's gonna be cat B.
Nope, it's both. You were right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because like the highest bar there has cat L and cat B.
Both. Oh yeah, because I would see when I read this question, I was just looking at the genotypes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look at everything.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. A precursor of EGP is translated from a transcript that has had one non-templated. Oh crap! So I was. All right. I think I can answer this because when I saw SS RNA negative strand, I was like, oh man, I hope they don't ask about this. But let's see.
Oh no, this isn't about that though.
Okay, so translated from a transcript that has one non-templated nucleotide added to an open reading frame. Oh, so it messes up the reading frame. Okay, this change does not create or eliminate a stop codon compared to the protein SGP, which is produced from the unedited transcript. EGP most likely has the same primary. Let's see.
Is it B?
Well, okay. First, we have to see if it's talking about DNA or. Oh well, it says precursor of EGP, so we are talking about proteins. Okay, so let's see. Same primary.
Because it doesn't create a stop or eliminate.
Does not create or eliminate a stop codon. Okay, so the end would be the same.
Yeah, so that's why I said, is it B?
Carboxy. Okay, but a different primary amino terminal. Wait. I forgot. It's C to N or N to C?
It's N to C.
Okay. So N to C, so that means that it does not cut the end of it prematurely. Okay, so that means You said N to C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it should have the same. Does not create or eliminate. One not. Okay, added to the. Okay. Does not create. Does not stop prematurely. Stops same way. N to C. Terminal. SGP unedited transcript. EGP has the same. I don't know, B? Damn. Let's see.
Addition of one nucleotide to the open reading frame of EGP results in a frame shift. Yeah, we knew that. And an aberrant carboxy terminal domain. What the fuck? So, I'm sorry. How does this explain the answer?
Yeah, it doesn't. I need to see something.
If you add something to the open reading frame, add something to the open reading frame. Oh, the reading frame starts at the end prime though. Oh, but yeah, that's how I got that answer.
Yeah. Does not. Okay.
But how? Okay, so I can understand why they said different primary carboxy terminal sequence because it didn't call it a stop codon, but how is the amino terminal sequence the same? Not create or eliminate. Yeah, I don't get this. Let me Reddit this question.
I can work on it like afterwards.
Okay. Let me see. Was this oh, this was like a pseudo discrete. I put kinetochores because I know microtubules extend from them, but I didn't know that they originate from centrosomes.
Yeah, they connect at the kinetochores on the chromosomes, but they originate from the centrosomes, which are at the ends of the cell.
Okay. Yeah. It's content question. Oh, we already did this passage. Wait, did we do the number 13? Okay. I have a question about this, and I think I know why I got it wrong. Because when I saw homodimeric and then I saw all of this stuff, right, I thought reducing agent first. That was going to be my answer first, but then I saw that they said a 22.5 kilodalton monomer. So I was like, if it's a monomer, then it doesn't have a disulfide linkage thing. So that's why I changed my answer to A.
Okay, let's see. All right, 45. So, okay. Well, you're cutting it in half. Right?
Wait. 45 divided by 2.
Yeah, so you're
22.5. Okay, I got it.
So your base, that reducing agent causes the disulfide bridge to break.
Yeah, I read that too fast. Okay, this question is pretty simple. I just did the math backwards. I put 4.74 divided by 7.03. So how would I know? Because they have both answer choices here. So how would I know? You can.
Y amplified pituitary responses to GNHR. Okay, so GNHR is 4.74. NP alone is I guess 4.74 to 7.03. How does that change? By what, percent increase?
Yeah, so I put 4.74 divided by 7.03, and that's how I got 67%. Or what did I put? Yeah.
Oh, that means that 4.74 is 67% of 7.03.
Are you saying 4.74 is 48% of 7.03?
No. So if you did, so if you put the smaller number as a numerator and the larger number, or the total as the denominator, that just gives you a percentage of how much that smaller thing is there.
Got you. So if they ask for amplification and stuff, you put the bigger number as the numerator?
So yeah, because that's so what you did was find the percent of it compared to it if it was both of them together. But if you want to see the percent increase, it's going to be the other way around.
Okay.
It's going to be the other way around, and you're going to get a number that's greater than 1, and you don't include the 1 if you want a percent increase. So, like, let's say something increases by 50%, it means you multiply it by 1.5.
Yeah, this is a math thing that I did not know.
Yeah, but yeah, if it increases, right? Yeah, then it can't be a number that's going to be less than 1.
Oh, okay. So if it asks for an increase and you get an answer less than 1, then that's not an increase. Okay.
Yeah. What you found was basically the the percent of GNRH in something that has GNRH and NPY.
Okay. Okay. I guess we are doing an hour. Oh, this is the question I was telling you about. I mean, 2 hours. But this is the question I was telling you about.
Okay. Assume that it immediately enters the bloodstream from the small intestine. Of the following, which would be the first major organ that the bloodborne thing would encounter? I mean, so it's going into the bloodstream, right? Like normal things in the small intestine will go into the large intestine, right? And if it went backwards, it would go into the stomach, right?
Yeah.
But it's getting absorbed by the blood, right? And then things that get absorbed, right? They go to the liver. Nothing really goes to the pancreas. The pancreas will just secrete things.
Yeah.
Like enzyme or hormones and things like that. Or like also like lipase, which breaks things down. But yes, basically the things, because our liver is where all of like glycogen and like all those metabolic pathways, they happen there. That's where glycogen is stored, right? So
except for ATC and the thingy. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like, yeah, when things. So the small intestine is where, like,
predominantly all of the digestion occurs. And you know,
You said small intestine.
where all the digestion occurs, like
Okay.
in the duodenum specifically, and you know that stuff gets absorbed into the bloodstream.
Okay. So when something gets reabsorbed, it first would encounter the liver. Okay.
Yeah, here it's just absorbed for the first time, so it's not technically reabsorption. Reabsorption you'll see, you know, with like in the kidneys where, you know, because in the kidneys, you know, blood, like in the glomerulus or whatever, things get, so things that are already absorbed in the blood get filtered out into the kidneys, and so if it goes back into the blood, it's reabsorbed
Got you.
because it was already absorbed before it got to the kidneys. So in, you know, for this case, it's just absorption because it wasn't in the blood, you know, to begin with.
Okay. Makes sense. I don't know. That one was just a. Anything that enters the inner membrane.
Oh, like fat soluble?
No, I was saying anything that disturbs the inner membrane.
Oh yeah,
will
that's where whatever TCA and ETC and stuff happens.
Yeah.
But protein X, I don't know what that is. What is that?
So
exotoxin. Okay. The protein can be detected in the bacterial culture medium only under anaerobic conditions. Okay. All right, and then this thing binds to. Okay, let's see. So what is it? All right, anaerobic conditions, protein. Okay, then.
When I thought anaerobic conditions, that's glycolysis. But if it's saying anaerobic conditions, ETC doesn't even happen.
It says
Is that
it
what?
says in the bacterial culture though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Then I mixed that up. That's why I put C's to function. Because proton gradient. But I thought the proton gradient it goes from the mitochondrial matrix to the intermembrane space, not the inner membrane. Because the inner membrane is the matrix, right?
Yeah, but you can add things like 2,4-DNP. You could add things to the inner mitochondrial matrix that'll decouple the ATPase from the proton gradient, and it'll just basically there's a lot of things you can do with that. I just need to see what X really does here. So, so let's see. Okay. Okay. You can scroll down some bit. Okay, so when you add a fluorescent molecule to it,
it will fluoresce when the thing binds to a hydrophobic surface residue of a protein, okay? And they tried to use that to look for conformational changes. So, all right, let's see. ANS alone. So, yeah, it works, it basically fluoresces at that wavelength peak. And then let's see. Wait, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. ANS alone is the bottom one, not the peak.
Yeah.
And then ANS plus protein X, it is roughly the same. And then, let's see. DPC is a detergent, which should mean that it... Oh, so a detergent is like bile. It's an emulsifier. It breaks down like fat molecules into like smaller fat molecules.
Okay.
So ANS has increased fluorescence when it binds to hydrophobic surface residues. So when you add that detergent, right, you're making there more surface area total, because let's say you have this big of a fat molecule, right? The detergent makes it so they're smaller but many, so the overall surface area, right, increases. That's why so more of the protein will bind to the hydrophobic thing, or the ANS will bind to the hydrophobic thing. So that's why you see the wavelength peak when you have the DPC added, because you'll have more surface
Protein
area
X.
and then more of that ANS binding to the hydrophobic surface area. Okay, and then to investigate the mechanism of this, they filled liposomes, micelles, right, with fluorescent dye, right? And then when you add the protein X, it releases the fluorescent dye from the liposome. Oh, now it makes sense. So protein X, right? It seems to cut a hole in like a lipid membrane.
Okay.
Right? Because they're saying that
Does it cause the gradual release?
Yeah, because if they put ANS inside of a lipid into like a phospholipid bound like liposome, aka whatever, something that's bound by a membrane, right? When they add the protein, it causes that dye to just get released from it. So it seems like protein X makes some type of hole in that membrane that allows things to cross through the membrane. So that's why when you add it to the inner membrane of the mitochondria,
It puts a hole there.
yeah. So the protons, there's no proton gradient. Normally the proton, there's more protons in the inner mitochondrial inner membrane space, because they can't get through to the matrix. The only way they can get through is through the ATPase. Now, if you make that, like if you let them in, right, without going to the bouncer, which is the ATPase, then the protons are just going to go back to equilibrium.
Okay.
So a gradient means, a difference. Yeah, that's going to be gone.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah. A lot of things do that. So, yeah, be on the lookout for those types of questions.
What type of questions?
Oh, like things like that would cause mess with the proton gradient, or something that something that'll mess something up, like with
Got you.
yeah. I'm not describing it well, but yeah, there are a couple of things that do that.
2-4 DNP is an example. All right, this one.
DNP does what?
Oh, 2-4 DNP, but whatever. I'll send you some stuff about that.
This one was just kind of like a discrete. I just didn't know what ubiquitinate, whatever that is.
Oh, it's something. It's a tag that's put on something to make it to mark it for destruction.
Time is it? Oh shit! Damn, we didn't even get to go over Kim.
You can like send me the questions for that or screenshot them, and I'll go over them in the notebook.
Okay.
I know I still have to go over the ones with the one that you sent me, but yeah, I can go over them that way.
Okay. I'm trying to see. I think it's like one that I didn't understand. This one was one, but I'll just screenshot it.
Mm-hmm.
I understood that one. This one is one I don't get. Okay. I guess I'll just screenshot it and send it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
And you can like, do like the zoom out thing so you can get everything. And I'll put it in the notebook, and yeah, I'll try to get that done by like tomorrow or something. Or before we meet next.
Okay, just for this one real quick. Yep. So CaCO3 in the equation was solid, right? So it disassociated into Ca2 plus and 2 HCO3 molecules, but this is asking, this broke it up into Ca2 plus and CO3.
Yeah, it breaks up into the calcium ion and the bicarbonate ion.
Okay.
And there's going to be equivalent amounts of each. So you just set that KSP equal to x squared.
Yeah, I got it wrong because I set it equal to 4x cubed because I saw this and yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, that would be if if it was like MgCl2.
Mm-hmm.
Because that turns into three things.
MgCl2.
Mm-hmm. That's like an example of something that breaks apart into three.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
That would be like the 4x cubed thing.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm about to finish taking my little notes from this so I can take this exam tomorrow.
Okay. You can send me those screenshots and yeah.
Okay, I will.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, take care.